Sorry, this is coming in two parts. I got cut off there from the video for some reason. Let me kind of review a little bit. We're doing our readings, but Sir Ken Robinson is one of the best speakers on divergent learning and really intuitive thought processes of the students. It's kind of an interesting thought process to really think about when you're an educational technologist, that new and inventive ways are still being created in ways to learn, and really facilitating learning for a student that has a job, maybe description that's not yet created, and how do we provide and support those students now as they sit in our classrooms. And so that's really an innovative way of really looking at learning. Also, there is an article from one of our texts. If you have not received your books yet, make sure you're grabbing your books or ordering them. They are accessible. You can get the text version. It also has online readable pieces for you also. In this week, we're going to be looking at chapters 8 and 6 of this text. Good information within there. So it's really meant, when you look at your assignment this week, to kind of hopefully define some research practices around the assessment and curriculum design areas, and then your personal statement within relation to those. There's also some supportive articles for this week. Look at those 3 articles: using the Common Core standards to meet the needs of diverse learners, challenging opportunities, and the next article is moving forward with Common Core state standards implementation, possibilities and potential problems, and then a fact sheet, Race to the Top. And Race to the Top was one of the initiatives that came out in pretty recent years. And so it's something for you to kind of look at when you kind of look at Race to the Top, that there was monies that were funding certain types of educational process to occur and helping the students succeed. And so whenever you look at an education, the way money is funded, you look at a lot more pressure being put on certain areas of instruction. This week of discussion, we have a week 1 discussion piece for you. And if you have not yet gone to the discussion board, you can click on where it says discussions, or under the week 1, there's a direct link to your discussion. It's meet and greet, and tonight I will meet for everyone from my end. And then there's the question on the Common Core state standards, and then kind of a review and some questions about Ken Robinson's TED Talk. If you are an avid reader of educational things, if you want to read Out of Our Minds by Sir Ken Robinson, is absolutely a great book to kind of reformulate the thought process of a curriculum instruction design and what that means when we talk about technology. So as you move along in your courses through here, that kind of can help frame a thought process of how things might or could be done. And so those are some just basic guides. I'm going to share with you my screen. And in doing so, I'm just going to kind of review some of the pieces that we have this week. So if you have not done so as of yet, make sure that you are looking at the syllabus and what's contained within the syllabus. There are some important pieces in there. Again, I put my contact information within the syllabus, some understanding of what's going on. And so you'll see my contact number is on there. 2 ways to get a hold of me: through email. Granted, texting to that number here is actually the fastest way, and or giving me a call. That way I can get back to you pretty much immediately. I do drive about an hour to work each day, and I do have a voice to text in my car, so it allows me to respond back to students via text kind of quick and painlessly. Along with the ISTE standards for student development, course management, pieces like that, you'll see our textbooks that we have available for this course, and a good explanation of week by week kind of what is expected of you to complete during this time. They also have all of the supplement pieces that you can use to add or link to outside of the Blackboard system, and then our discussion board topics, and then our assignment for each week. Another thing that would be good for you to look at, when you click on within Blackboard, you will find a rubric and a point scoring assessment tool that I use and will send to you for feedback on your lessons. And that kind of lays into how I provide feedback. I will give you feedback. I'll put in comments on here and how you and what you have earned as far as points and why that you're in that area. Some of the big pieces with that are, key elements to the assignment are covered, and I'm making sure you're hitting on the essence of the question, and that you're in your personal experiences, because this is from you and what you have experienced as an educator. And then from the reading that we've done this week, so those chapter 6 and chapter 8 that look at the assessment pieces that were provided by bills that were passed for federal government fundings. So NCLB and Race to the Top and the Common Core State Standards, what those things, how those impact the learning experiences that are currently going on. And really look at those pieces as a curriculum. So how has that affected the way that you not teach the instruction piece, but you have actually looked at and developed lesson plans, and how they've selected books, or if they've gone totally paperless. Do they go online textbook pieces? Do they get online supplemental materials to kind of hit the technology requirements that are within the Common Core standards, and how those tests or assessments have really affected the way that teachers are now presenting content, so students will have access to an equal ration. So like we would say the CalASP test is presented in an online environment, which allows multimedia and interactive pieces dependent on grade level. There are some a little more, some a little less. And how people are developing curriculum to be able to support those pieces so that students get practice before they go into the actual assessment itself. What's working and what needs to be changed. Okay, those are in your pieces, but Sir Ken Robinson on what needs to be changed. I think his philosophy and aspect and presentation piece can bring a lot to that piece of your paper. Describe a personal impact of high stakes testing. And so this is what you have done with them. How has that changed within the last 2 years in comparison to maybe any SSTs that you are taking, compared to the CalASP testing, and what pedagogies you have actually put in place to make sure you're supporting the curriculum that now it should be a part of your school process. As always, our papers are APA formatted. We include a title page, but that's not included in your page count. Reference pages are also required if any outside sources are used. And so did put your reference materials in here that you have the book citations. You can citate your book. You can citate your articles that were in the course itself. Anything that's being brought outside definitely has to be listed in a citation page. Look for yourself when you go through the grading rubric piece, so you have a good understanding of what the expectations are and where the points of learning are. Now, granted, a lot of this paper is based on your own personal opinion, and so I'm only looking for complete thoughts to be carried over, so that when I read your paper, I get a good understanding of where you are and what aspects you have been able to work through in curriculum design assessments, and how those affected you. And so as long as you're being coherent and clear within those pieces, that was actually a good way. Academic writing through APA has certain citation requirements. Make sure you have your APA manual to look at that. We'll hold in and have really clear formatted mechanics developed into that. And so if you're citing things inappropriately, I'll try to make marks of those as much as possible. And the hope is that, being what students may say that is nitpicky or picking out things that are inappropriately cited or inappropriately quoted or inappropriately presented in a paper, makes you a stronger writer and a stronger in the APA formatting as you move through this program itself. So take a look at that rubric piece. Make sure you have a good understanding of what's required of you of this assignment, because that's really what's going to help you be a stronger writer as you move through. Hopefully these now 2 videos find you well and that you are able to finish out this week. Again, if you have any questions, we've reviewed those in here. So I'll link this to our course, and good luck to all of you this week.